Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Kayla, and before anything else, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, subscribe to my channel, you know you want to, and when you do, hit that notification bell so that you are always notified of when I post a video. Now, when I saw this palette, I don't know, I kind of was just like, it's pretty, but I don't know if I want to pick it up. I wasn't really feeling it to the extent that I was feeling the Sunset palette, but somehow I convinced myself that I needed it, and I decided to pick up the Natasha Denona Tropic Palette. Honey, I got a couple of comments to say. If you guys aren't familiar with Natasha Denona, she sells one of the most expensive eyeshadow palettes out in the market. I never picked up her first two that were like almost like $250, but I knew that I wanted the Sunset palette, which retails for $129, and I love this palette. I use it all the time. She is effed up. Like, I love her to death. Like, this is my favorite palette of all time. So I was like, you know what, the Tropic palette has a lot of beautiful colors. It's really colorful. It has this like, I'll show you guys the palette so you guys, so I can explain to you the colors that really stood out to me. So I already knew that I love the formula of the Natasha Denona eyeshadows, but I don't know what happened with this palette compared to the other ones, but this palette does not have the same formula, at least in my opinion. Now, I am wearing the palette on my eyes today, and while it looks really beautiful, it was a struggle. And I feel like I could have created this look with a couple of my Juvia's Place eyeshadow palettes, and they are a fraction of the price for this one. This is the palette itself. I do love the packaging. I love that it's plastic. It's not super thick and not bulky. Something that I really like is that there are holes in the back, and if you hear the eyeshadow rattling when you put your brush in it, it's because you can actually pop these out. So let's say you wanted to go on vacation but didn't want to take the whole palette, just a couple of colors. You can pop them out, put them into a magnetized palette, and take it to go in case you don't want to bring the entire palette. When you open up the palette, you get a big old mirror here, and then this is what the eyeshadows look like. Really pretty. As you guys can see with the green one, me trying to get some pigmentation out of this one, I don't know if it's the formula, it started gouging out some of the product, which is very weird to me, but you do have a nice variety of mattes and shimmers and kind of like a foily type. The colors that spoke out to me, to be honest, were really this bottom row and this yellow. All these colors on top I have in other palettes or colors that are similar to these, but like this mint frost color, the exotic color, especially the exotic color, like that green really spoke to me. Tiger Lily, Zena, Limoncello, those colors really spoke to me. I basically got this palette for those colors, and guys, I'm a little upset. So on my eyes, I have Pastel Melon and Fake Tan in my crease. I also put a little bit of Sahara in my crease. I have on my lid, I have Exotic all over, and I have Mint Frost in the center. And on the inner corners and on my brow bone, I do have Limoncello. These colors look so pigmented in the pans. Like, this green looks so green. Like, guys, you can hear it rattling, right? Yeah. So you know I'm pushing hard. This is how much green came off, and that was me doing it for a while. That's a swatch. This was the swatch. Yeah. It's just not pigmented, and for the $129 price tag, I kind of was expecting a little bit more. And having already dealt with Natasha Denona formula, I already knew that they were pigmented. So I don't know what happened in this particular eyeshadow palette, but it's just the pigmentation isn't there, which is frustrating, because if it was there, this would be an amazing palette. I would be able to justify to myself of, okay, this was worth the money. Now, you obviously see the green on my eyes. I had to work to get the green to be this pigmented, and I think that's why I started to gouge out, because I was pressing my brush into it. I used a dry brush and then I wet it to see if I would get more pigmentation. Nothing. I was like, do I really want to be doing all this work for this green when, one, I don't wear green eyeshadow often, and two, I have green eyeshadows in my Juvia's Place that are similar to this color, are more pigmented, and the palettes are all under $40. So why am I spending $129? Now, guys, I really love Natasha Denona, and I'm super excited for this palette, but I'm a little, you know, I'm a little upset that these aren't as pigmented. Now the mattes, I have no problem. Like this is Laguna, which is the blue. Super pretty, really pigmented, not problem with the mattes. This one is Tiger Lily, and like Exotic, it's patchy, it's not that pigmented, it doesn't pull up that much color. The mattes swatch beautifully. The mattes are pigmented. I'll do Cocoa right here, which is this brown color. Like, as you can see, the mattes are pigmented. I have no problem with the mattes in this palette. Out of 15 eyeshadows, you do get 10 matte, which essentially is good. Like, I don't mind the matte shades, but I didn't really purchase this palette for the matte shades. I feel like I have something like Peach Puff and Nudist and Vintage Taupe and Pastel Melon and other palettes that are relatively cheaper. Xena is a color that I don't really have. It is stunning nonetheless. I kind of wish I could just keep Xena. But the colors that I really liked were the shimmers and the glitters, and those are the colors that are usually pigmented. Mint Frost is the only one, I think it's because it's a foil, that's actually like really nice. It's not as translucent. It definitely has more pigmentation than Exotic and Tiger Lily, but all the shimmers are the colors that I want. I kind of wish that this palette, the colorful like Exotic and Mint Frost and Limoncello and all the shimmers and foils in this palette had the same formula as Obeyed from the Sunset palette. Now I'm going to show you guys Obeyed so you guys can see what I'm talking about. As you guys can see, this palette is well loved, very well loved. This shade here is Obeyed. You could tell I use her a lot. Every time I wear it, I get a lot of compliments. This is, I'm going to show you guys as I swatch so you guys know, right? Let's bring her closer. Look at that. Do you see that pigmentation? It is buttery. It is pigmented. It is glittery. It is shimmery. It's, if that's even a word, which I'm not exactly sure at this moment. It is beautiful. And the fact that this is what made me fall in love with the Sunset palette. This was the shade that said to me, yes, this is worth my money. I need it. But I'm sitting here like, wow, guys, like what happened? What happened with the Tropic palette? And I know a lot of times people are saying that when it was in transit, because the formula was really soft, it would crumble. Now, I've never had it crumble on me. I've never purchased any of her palettes and had them arrive to me broken. But I'm ready to return the Tropic palette, and she's so beautiful, which pains me. I love the packaging. I like the fact that you can pop out the pans and basically take the ones that you want with you. I love that concept. I love the size of the mirror. I love the mattes in the Tropic palette. I think that they are pigmented, that they blend really well, that they were just created really well. And your basic Natasha Denona matte formula. I don't know where they missed with these shimmers and glitters. I'm actually really like upset about it, because I'm like, wow, this green would, if it was more pigmented, it would have been a popping green. It would have looked good on any skin tone. It just would have been beautiful, and it still is beautiful. But I don't want to spend 30, 35, 40 minutes packing on one color when I could go into a palette that's a third of the price and gives it to me in one swipe. And the fact that it didn't matter if it was a dry brush or a wet brush, just really, it makes me like, girl, this is a $129 palette. You better come bring it. You better, you know, I expect it to give my eyes some real estate. I expect it to be pigmented. I expect to be blinding to the gods. That's just my expectation, especially for that price point, because $129 is a phone bill. I think it's such a beautiful palette. I just want them to fix the shimmers. Like, if she goes back and reformulates those shimmers and glitters in this palette, honey, I will gladly drop that $129, because it is a stunning palette. But as of right now, she gonna have to go back. I'm so upset about it. I'm really upset about it. Natasha, girl, what are you doing? Oh my god, I'm just not a fan. I think that it was a nice concept. I think that it would have been a beautiful summer palette, but she gonna have to go back. I'm sorry. Not for $129, boo-boo. I ain't trying to do that much work. Leave a comment down below. Were you guys interested in the Tropic palette? Was it even on your list? I know that her palettes are hella expensive and not everyone has $129 to spend on her palettes, because before I was like, girl, who's that crazy to spend that much money on an eyeshadow palette when you can go out and get e.l.f. or you can go out and get Juvia's Place, or you can go out to any of these companies and pay a lot less. But the moment I tried that Sunset palette, I was like, Natasha Denona is onto something. Those are some nice colors. I don't know. But yeah, guys, that's all I really have to say on this palette. I'm really disappointed in it, and I honestly truly want to love it. It created a beautiful eye look, but for the price, I shouldn't have to do that much work. And they're just not that pigmented. Just to give you guys a heads up, the Tropic palette also has 0.03 less ounces of eyeshadow product in it compared to the Sunset palette. So, you know, if I paid $129 for the Sunset palette and it was bomb, why am I paying $129 for less product on the Tropic and it was mediocre at best? But yeah, guys, if you guys like these types of videos, please give it a thumbs up. It really helped me and I would truly appreciate it. Leave a comment down below if you guys were interested in the Tropic palette. Was it on your list? Was it just way too expensive? I also did pick up the mini Sunset palette, which was $25. I have a couple of things to say about this too. If you guys want to see a video on this, leave a comment down below and I'll definitely get that out for you guys. Make sure that you follow me on my social media, my Snapchat, my Instagram, my Twitter. Slide up in those DMs. I want to hear from you guys. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel. You know you want to. And when you do, tell your friends so that they can tell their friends and 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 their friends, so that we can all be part of this great big familia. As always, guys, I hope you truly enjoyed the video and I will see you in the next one. Bye.